Hi guys, I'm so excited for today's video because today, as you have seen in the thumbnail and the title of this video, Odens Eye has come out with another collaboration, and this is a continuation of the Legendary Diversa Collection, which I was a part of last year, and they have now come out with a new palette, and this is with one of my friends, Angelica. I'm sure you all know her. I will of course link her channel down below, but she has done a palette with them, and I could not be more excited. When they first reached out to me to do the collab last year, I was like, why me over Angelica? Like, to me, that didn't make any sense at all, but like, now it's all coming together because she was obviously asked as well, and I'm glad that she gets to have her time in the spotlight all by herself, and I cannot wait to showcase this palette. So I don't know any information about this, like I don't know pricing, I don't know what the exact launch time as of when I'm filming this because I did get this in PR in advance. So I will have all of the information on the screen and down in my description box if you're curious about this. Codes will not work on this collection, but I do have a code that will work on other things if you plan on picking anything else up. It is just Annette and it will save you 10% off, but today we are going to be talking about the, I am not sure how to say this. I want to say it's Hela eyeshadow palette because I am Norwegian and like that's how you would say it in Norwegian, but then again, sometimes Swedish and Norwegian are like slightly different, so not completely sure, but that's how I'm going to say it because I don't know any better. But I'm so excited to be playing with this palette. I'm gonna do 3 looks today. I would say that this is going to be a review, but I don't know if it will be because honestly, I'm pretty biased. Angelica is my friend and I'm just really excited to be playing with this palette. More than anything, I just want to give you some inspiration on what you can do with this if you end up buying it and just kind of show you how it performs. Obviously, if it's like shit, I'm gonna say so, but I don't think it will be because I know Odens Eye's quality and I just can't imagine this not being good. So I think that's all I'm going to say in the beginning of the video. I don't want to ramble on too much because we are going to do, like I said, 3 looks. So I'm just going to go ahead and start by priming with my Natasha Denona eyeshadow base. And we are just going to play with this. I will say, when I first got this package and I opened this package and I saw on the front that it said Angelica on it, and then I opened the inside and I was like, wait, who is this a collab with? Like, which Angelica is this a collab with? Because this isn't a color story and a palette that I would have expected Angelica to come out with. Not in like a I don't like it kind of way, but I just feel like this is very different than what I just expected. And so I messaged Odens Eye and I'm like, wait, who is this a collab with again? And they're like, oh, it's Angelica Nyqvist. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I took a closer look at it and I was like, you know what? I kind of see Angelica in this. It's not, like I said, what I would have expected, because there's quite a lot of like light mattes in here and there's not as many dark mattes as I kind of would have expected, but I think that the color story is very well done and it's very interesting, and I'm excited to just see what I can do with this. I think I mostly want to focus on like the greens for this look since I'm kind of wearing like a dark green sweater and stuff. Also, the collection, I'm all over the place as per usual, but the collection does come with a little scarf, and I really like this because on one side it's like black and white and on the other side it's like this the colors of the front of the palette. And if you want to know like the backstory behind the palette and the inspiration behind this, I would say go watch her video because I'm not going to be able to explain this as well as she will herself. And so I'm just going to leave you to watch hers instead because it is, after all, her reveal and her palette, and I want you to hear her side of things. So like I said, we're going to be using some of the greens. I'm going to start with the shade called Underworld. I think this is going to be my crease shade. So I'm going to take that on a rougher 13 like I always do. And I'm just going to go ahead and put this into my crease. I think I want to do like greens in my crease and then possibly play with some of these maybe pink and purple shimmers on my lid. Maybe that could be kind of fun. So this is going on very nice and pigmented as I'm used to from Odens Eye. There's also a multi-chrome in this palette, which I'm so excited for because I obviously know how good the multi-chromes that they have in their palettes are because I have one in my own palette. And I'm so excited to be playing with this one. I don't know if I want to use it in this look. Maybe I'll do it in my inner corner just so we can kind of see how it performs, but I definitely want to make sure I use that as a spotlight in one of the 3 looks. I'm gonna do this in a bit of a opposite order here. I'm gonna use, I think, the shade called Decay as my lower lash line shade, and then I'm gonna use the sort of purpley shade to deepen things up with. So I'm gonna take this on a small pencil brush here and I'm just gonna smoke that underneath my lower lash line. Don't ask me why I'm doing it in this order. I literally don't know, but that's just what we're doing today. That's just what I'm feeling. And this color is the exact same color as my sweater. That's pretty cool. I don't know if you can properly see that, but those are matching perfectly. It's almost like this was meant to be or something. And then going back to my Refer 13, I know this isn't looking perfect and blended yet, but we're just gonna take one color at a time. So I'm gonna go in with a shade called Suit, which like I said, is sort of a dark purple. And I'm gonna put that in the outer corner of my eye. I feel like this is gonna be very similar to my hair color. I'm gonna be very matchy-matchy today, and I'm not mad about it. That is such a beautiful dark matte shade. Just gonna run this through like half of my crease. I don't think I want to take this all the way across. I am layering this on my lid a little bit as well, because when I'm going in with the shimmers, I want to have a little bit of a base down for those shimmers to sort of blend into and layer over. But that is a beautiful color. So far, I'm really liking this. Gonna go back in with that first shade that I used, and I just want to make sure I bring that back a little bit here because I did take that dark shade quite high up, so I just want to bring this up a little bit more as well. And the multi-chrome goblin in me is like, you have to use me all over your lid in this look, because what are you doing with your life otherwise? So maybe I will do that. I don't know if I can help myself. Can I really help myself? Do I have to use this? Let me see what the oh, that's so beautiful. The shade actually reminds me quite a bit of Red Giant from Terra Moons. It's got a very strong kind of red to gold to white shift to it, and I think it's just gonna go really nicely with this look. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use it because I just can't not. And I have two other looks to work with all of these other beautiful shimmers, so let's just go ahead and use the multi-chrome right away because I just can't help myself. So I'm of course going to first put down some of my NYX glitter primer because I really want this shade to be able to pop and be super smooth and metallic and just everything it can be. So I'm just putting this all over my lid. Super simple look, but I really just want to showcase this shade and see what it is all about. I'm going to take the sticky side of my brush and I'm going to dip that into the shade here, which is called Double-Sided. So this is the multi-chrome in the palette. And I'm basically just going to smear that all over my lid. That is beautiful. That is really, really pretty. God, I love these kind of shades. I would say that this is a little bit more, I don't want to say subtle than the Terra Moon shade, but it's just a different texture. And I feel like Odens Eye multichromes are extremely smooth and they don't have much texture to them, but they just look really, really nice and shiny and sparkly on the eyelid. Like that looks so good. It almost seems like it's pulling a little bit green as well because I'm layering it over that green chartreuse shade. Oh, I really like that. That is super fun. I think just to merge this shade a little bit better in with the dark outer corner, I'm going to take a little bit of the shade called Complete, which is the darkest shimmer in the palette. I don't want a lot of this. I'm not going to spray this. I'm just going to use this dry, and I'm just going to put that right in the middle where these two colors meet, just so I can get a bit of a better blend. Yeah, I think this is doing exactly what it is that I wanted to do. I don't want this shade to really like take over the look, but I do want it to show quite nicely here. And I really like the contrast between this being so dark and the other shade being so light. And I think I want to use a little bit of a green shimmer on my lower lash line because I just want to test out more shades. So I think I'm going to use this one this time. This one is called Golden Bridge. Just gonna take a little bit of this on a pencil brush and I'm gonna spray it a bit because I don't want any fallout and I do want this to be nice and intense. And I'm just gonna put that on the front portion of my lower lash line as a bit of an extra pop of color. That is so cute as well. Okay, I love this. I think this is all I'm going to do. I'm gonna finesse just a little bit of blending just before I finish off, but I'm gonna come back when my look is done and I will show you what I did, and then we can go ahead and do 2 more looks with this palette. Okay, and this is the final look. I didn't do anything crazy at all to finish off. The only thing that I really did was I used that multi-chrome shade as my face highlighter, and I love that. Like, that is really, really cute. I love using these kind of iridescent multi-chromes. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like the Kaleidos ones as well. On my face as highlighters, I think they look so good. In my waterline, I used a nude eyeliner from Norvina. I think that's it. And then my lipstick today is from Odens Eye. This is one of the matte lipsticks in the shade Fig Jam, and I just thought that having a bit of a bright lip with this would look really nice. So, I mean, I was already wearing it before I started filming, but you know what I'm trying to say. So that's gonna be it for look number 1. I really like this. I think this turned out very, very nicely, and I think that I'll be able to do something quite different from my other looks. I feel like this palette is quite versatile, despite it being mostly like a green and a pink palette, but I think that with the tones in here, and just like all the different textures and finishes, I think that we're gonna be able to get some really cool looks. So yeah, I'm excited to play more with this. This was so much fun and I'm loving this look. So let's go ahead and move into look number 2. So we're gonna get into the second look, and I keep looking at this palette. I'm just seeing so many color combinations that I can do with this. I feel like despite it being very like half greens, half purples and pinks, I feel like there's so many things that you can do with this. And I'm quite inspired by looking at this palette. So I think what I wanna do for this look is I wanna do a bit of a like pink and purple crease and then use like these green shimmers on the lid. I think that would make for a really nice contrast. So I think that's what I'm gonna go ahead and do. And I'm probably gonna do 2 looks back to back today. I'm just kind of feeling like filming and I just feel like playing with makeup, so that's what I'm gonna go ahead and do. I'm gonna pick up the shade called Goddess, which is the very bright pink, and I'm gonna use that as my transition shade for this look. I'm not gonna do like any crazy shape or anything like that. I just want this to be really, really nice and pretty and quite easy to do, so that if you know, end up getting this palette, you can have some inspiration. You can maybe recreate this look if it turns out okay. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put this into my crease and blend it out. I'm gonna go ahead and take this same shade underneath my eye as well. And to deepen this up, like I said, I'm gonna take the shade called Suit, which I know I used that in my previous look as well, but you guys know I love me a deep dark outer corner, so since this is the darkest shade in the palette, it only makes sense that I'm going to use it again. So I'm just gonna use that to first put in my outer corner, and then I'm gonna take this basically all the way through my crease and make this really nice and intense and dark. Man, this shade is so easy to work with. I'm not having any fallout. I'm not having any patchiness. It layers like a dream. Like that literally took me probably 30 seconds. That was so easy to do. I'm gonna deepen up my lower lash line as well, just a little bit, mostly on the outer corner. Just gonna go back in with the first shade that I used, the pink, and just make sure that the blend between the purple and the pink is looking nice. It is time for some shimmers, and I'm of course going to just put on a little bit of my NYX glitter primer just in the front portion of my lid here where I want my shimmers to be, just so that they have something nice and sticky to grip onto. And I'm going to use the sticky side of my brush, and I'm going to dip into the shade called Venom, which is this brightest of the greens. The shade is so beautiful. I can't wait to put this on my eyes. And I'm going to basically put that from the middle and drag it out, and then I'll use some of the lighter shimmers in the front portion. This is so pretty. Oh, I love a bright green shimmer. It's just something that I don't think I'll ever get sick of, and this is blending so nicely into that outer corner shade as well. This is a very smooth formula. Odens Eye has quite a bit of different shimmer formulas, and I feel like this is like a smooth metallic, whereas some of these other ones are a little bit more sparkly, and some are a little bit more chunky. Like it just depends, and I don't say chunky in a bad way. Like I really enjoyed the more chunky formulas personally, but this one is definitely more of a smooth metallic green shimmer. It is absolutely stunning, and I've always liked the color combination of putting green and purple together, so this palette is like so up my alley. And then for the front portion of my lid, I'm going to use the lightest of the greens, which is called Fluorescence. Just picking that up on the other side of my brush here, and that's gonna go in the inner corner as well as the front portion of my lid. I'm probably gonna wrap it a little bit underneath my eye as well, just so I can have this as my inner corner shade. This is also just so beautiful. I still have a little bit of space left just on the front portion of my lower lash line, and I think I want to use the pink shimmer just because since I have pinks under here, I feel like that's going to work really nicely. So I'm going to take the shade called Hellfire, and this shade is definitely way more chunky than the one that I just used, so I am going to go ahead and spray this with some Fix Plus. You can obviously use whatever you want to spray your brush with. I would probably recommend something that doesn't contain alcohol because it can irritate your eyes. I'm just gonna put that right here. As you can tell, that is super pretty. I love having an extra pop of shimmer like right in this area. So I think this is all I'm going to do for this look. I'm gonna go ahead and finish off, and I will come back and show you what I did. Okay, and this is the final look, and I'm looking at how long I've been filming, and this look was so easy. I'm done, and it's been 23 minutes, which is really nothing. Usually I have to restart my camera once while I'm, you know, in the middle of doing a look or whatever. A lot of the time I'm just on my phone and being not productive too, so there's always that. But 23 minutes is pretty quick for me, so that tells you a lot about how easy it was to work with this palette. If you want to know what I did finish off, my lipstick today is from Hourglass. This is in the shade I've Kissed. It's one of these kind of weapon-looking lipsticks. I keep forgetting that I have this, but it is absolutely beautiful. In my waterline is Spare Time from Colourpop. It's one of the Raw Beauty Christie collab eyeliners. And then my highlighter today is from Bitter Lace Beauty, and it's in the shade Coral Cove. I just wanted something sort of like neutrally, but a little bit orange leaning, and I felt like it just went really well. I'm also wearing a blush from the Arthurine palette from Menagerie, and the one that I'm wearing is, let's see, I am wearing the shade down here, which is called Persimmon. So that is how I decided to finish off. I really like this look. I love this color combination, and I'm so inspired to just keep playing with this. So I'm gonna go ahead and take some pictures. I'm gonna take this off, sadly, because it's really, really pretty. And then we're gonna go ahead and do the third look. For this last look, I wanna do something that I've been doing quite often, I would say, on days where I haven't been filming. And this is like super, I wouldn't say super easy, but like it doesn't take that much time, and it's pretty different from what I normally do, I guess. Maybe, sort of, not really, I don't know. I'm gonna have to let you tell me. I'm gonna start with the shade called Decay, and I'm gonna use a very, very tiny small pencil brush from Rougher. This is the 23 brush, and I'm gonna use this to sort of create a bit of a wing. I'm gonna start in the outer portion of my lower lash line and just sort of trace this up where it is that I want it to be. I don't want to take it like too high up, but I do want to take it almost up to my brow here, and then I'm gonna bring it into my lid and sort of do a hooded eye wing, but I'm not really gonna use any shadows in my crease. I just want this to kind of look like a wing when I'm done with the look, and I don't want my lid shades to really be showing when my eyes are open. So this is more of a, I don't know if you would say subtle look, but for me with my eye shape, it ends up looking more subtle just because you can't really see all the shades when my eyes are open. So I'm just taking this a little bit underneath my eye as well. I'm gonna take it probably halfway or so. So I think these are looking fairly even. I'm gonna switch to a larger pencil brush, and I'm gonna start putting the shade basically on the outer corner of my eye, but I'm also going to take it a bit onto my lid as well. I'm mostly doing this in a bit of a diagonal shape here, and this is probably going to transfer a little bit into my crease, but that's okay. I am going to take this through my crease a little bit as well, but I just want to kind of put this down where it is that I want it to be first. And I'm definitely going to have to switch out my lipstick after this, because pink with this green is just, personally, not gonna match. Okay, so now that I have this where I want it to be, I'm going to take more of that shade onto my brush, and I'm going to start basically taking this through my crease about halfway or so. I don't want this, like I said, to be too high up. I don't really want this to show when my eye is open, but maybe peeking up just a little bit. This is just going to give me a better shape. I feel like when my eyes are closed, and you can see the stuff that's going on to my eyes here, and it's gonna like just give me a little bit of shadow in my crease as well. I sort of want this to be more of a graphic look than blended, so I'm not gonna really blend this, but I think that having just this in my crease a little bit is going to just blend nicer when I get a light shimmer on my lid. I'm not gonna take it all the way. I'm gonna leave it about here or so. So that's what the shape is gonna look like when my eye is open. Obviously it's kind of messy now when you look at it like this, but since I am gonna put a shimmer on my lid, it's all going to come together. So I'm kind of struggling to figure out what I want to use on my lid. Normally when I do a look like this, I tend to use some kind of an iridescent shade because I just find that layers so beautifully over like a darker shade like this. But I'm thinking maybe I will use the shade here, which is called River. This is one of those very kind of wet looking duochromes. It shifts from blue to purple, and I think that's just gonna look really, really nice. As per usual, I am just going to put on some NYX glitter primer first, where I want my shimmer to go, which is basically going to be all over my lid here. And I'm not sure if this is going to turn out exactly the way that I'm envisioning, but we'll see what happens, right? I think I am going to put a little bit of something under my eye as well, because I just can't help myself. So I'm going to go into the shade here with the sticky side of my brush. And that picks up beautifully if you do it this way. And I'm just going to basically slap this color all over my lid, and I'm gonna I'm gonna load this up. Like, I'm gonna put a lot of the shimmer on because I really want the sparkles to come out, because this is such a beautiful shade. Oh, that looks so good. And I'm taking it high enough up that it's sort of blending into that green here, and you can see now just how it all sort of merges together. So now that I have this on, I think I'm gonna use, do I want to use the multi-chroma as my inner corner shade? I don't really think it's gonna go with this look. I think I'm just gonna use the shade called Fluorescence again, which is the green shimmer, because I just feel like green is gonna go a little bit better with this look. I need to find another clean pencil brush. Yeah, I'm just gonna use a Refer 03, and I am gonna go ahead and spray this one a little bit. And I'm just gonna use that as an inner corner shade. I don't want too much of this. I just wanna have like a pop of green in my very inner corner. I am going to take it up onto my lid a little bit, but not too high. Again, I don't really want these shimmers to show when my eye is open, except for just in my very inner corner. I'm just blending this down underneath my eye a little bit as well. Going back in with that green matte that I used to begin with, and I'm just going to make sure that the blend between the shimmer and the matte is looking good here. And I think just for fun, I'm gonna put a couple of rhinestones. I'm probably gonna do like one here and like maybe two here or something like that. I've gotten these from Amazon a very long time ago. These are supposed to be like for nail art, I think, but I love using these on my eyes. I think it just makes it so much more fun, and it's so easy to do. All you need is just some tweezers and some lash glue, and you're good to go. First, just gonna put a little dot of lash glue. Let's do right here where I want the biggest one of the jewels to go, or jewels, I don't know what else to call them. Rhinestones, I guess. Just want to make sure that they're somewhat even here. And then I'm just putting that right on top with my tweezers. I don't even know if you can see what I'm doing here. And this is when you realize just how uneven your eyes are, because I have way more room on the other side than I do on this side. Just trying to make sure that these are even. They're definitely not going to be even, but it doesn't matter because no one else is going to notice. And I'm also just going to put two little dots right here. I love the little sparkle it gives. That is so cute. I am here for this. I'm gonna go ahead and finish off, just do some liner and mascara. I'll be right back. I'll switch out my lipstick because I don't feel like this is matching at all. And then I will give you my final thoughts on this palette. All right, and this is the completed look. And I love how this turned out. I think this is so fun. I cannot get enough of using little rhinestones like this. I think it just adds so much to our look. I used to wear these, I want to say like 2 years ago. I was pretty obsessed with doing stuff like this for a while, and then I just forgot about it. And now I'm back on that wagon again, and I'm not complaining because I think it looks so cool. For my lipstick, I wanted to go with something sort of cool tone brown. So I'm using a liquid lipstick from Ofra. This is in the shade So Be. And I feel like it really complements the look. I feel like this is very sort of spacey in a way, and like maybe the complete opposite than what this palette was meant to be, but I'm really digging this, and so far I've just had such a good time playing with this palette. Haven't had any problems at all. You guys know I love Odens Eye as a brand, and I love their formula, and this didn't disappoint me at all. This is exactly what I wanted it to be, and I'm just so happy that I have this. I'm so proud of Angelica. I think she did an amazing job. Even though this color story wasn't at all what I would have expected from her, I'm still just so pleasantly surprised because it feels different, you know? And I feel like I haven't seen a color story quite like this before, and I really enjoy that. So yeah, I mean, if you guys are interested in this palette, I would highly recommend it. I think it's really, really nice. And if you guys love Odens Eye, you're gonna love this because this is basically Odens Eye in a palette. So yeah, that's gonna, I guess, be my thoughts. Again, congratulations, Angelica. This is so exciting. I can't wait to use this more because this palette is beautiful. So that's gonna be it for today. If you want to see some other 3-look or multiple look videos, I do have a playlist. I'll put that right there. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.